Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Another fun facsimile, although DC calls them artifact editions. This is the sketch cover, Batman with Robin, the Teen Wonder, number 237. Another reprint from the fabulous Neal Adams era of Batman. I cannot wait to share it with you. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. Okay, I think I better stop buying these sketch covers because I keep buying them with the intention of drawing on them and selling them on eBay. Ha ha ha. Lofty goal indeed, but I haven't drawn one yet. So maybe, I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but maybe it will. So, and this seemed like an odd one to get a sketch cover for anyway. I don't know if there's any special significance to this reprint. I feel like DC has been doing their artifact editions. Artifact editions are exact reprints of old comic books, of course, with a few adjustments, you know, the new price, the added sketch cover, the different quality of paper. Marvel calls them facsimiles, DC calls them artifacts. Marvel's been doing them on slick paper, DC's been doing them on newsprint. There's arguments for both. There's arguments for facsimiles in general. A lot of people say it diminishes the value of the originals. I say the nay. Reprints have existed almost since the beginning of comics. X-Men reprinted old issues for several years between the old X-Men and the new X-Men, which gave new readers an opportunity to see books that they might not have the chance. And comics books are meant to be read, and that's why I think these are a good thing, and I will never back down on that. Look at this gorgeous cover, a haunting Halloween novel, Night of the Reaper. Extra special, a Batman solo story from the fabulous 40s. See, a reprint within a reprint. That's, I don't think that's meta, but I think that's something. I don't know what the right word for it is. I work off script, y'all, so I do the best I can here. Batman, Night of the Reaper. Love the splash page. How gorgeous is that? Art by Neal Adams and Dick Giordano. Story by Denny O'Neil. From an Idea by Bernie Wrightson with an assist from Harlan Ellison. I don't know, how funny is that? So Bernie Wrightson is like on the phone with Harlan Ellison. He's stoned or drunk. They're just shooting the shit about comics. This is a great idea for a Batman story. We should definitely tell Denny O'Neil about it and get what do you call it, Neal Adams to draw it. And Dick Giordano. I'm so fascinated by the Dick Giordano situation because controversially speaking, he was kind of a studio artist and later in his career, but I don't know at one point because he was like an executive at DC, so arguably we don't know how much time he had to ink, but he was using like assistants. To what degree, I'm not sure. So a lot of times when you think you're getting Giordano's inking, you're getting someone else's, and I don't know if this is post that, pre this, or if that's his entire career. I'd love to do some more research on that because I think Neal Adams and the whole continuity, comics and the studio situation and just the legend and what he brought to comics is just like endlessly fascinating. I love this page here. This is tantamount to a 2-page spread in my mind, in that it is one image broken up by panels, but I think this is such a great effective way that I've discovered through certain artists, most notably of the past, like artists like Neal Adams, a great way to sort of work in a 2-page spread while advancing the story at the same time in a great way, because John Byrne always used to put 2-page spreads in the X-Men, I think as sort of an homage to Kirby, but his only argument against them is it only advances the story by one panel. So wrap that up in your diaper and smoke it. And that was when the X-Men was only 17 pages a month. Imagine that. Now it's like 22. So there's this float, this parade, this Halloween situation going on. I love it. I don't know. You can... It's just so evocative. You know, like I said, this is why I love the facsimiles and the reprint. I came into comics in the pretty much regularly collecting, like in the early to mid 80s, and missed the boat on this great, and I was a Marvel person until right before Crisis on Infinite Earths, so great timing, right? So I kind of missed the boat, and I had heard the legend of, you know, Neal Adams, Batman this, that, But, you know, as much as I didn't mind it, like at first glance, it looked kind of like old school art to me. So I wasn't super into it and sort of came into Neal Adams later. Believe it or not, books like Continuity, like Megalith and Samaree, like really cinched my status as a Neal Adams fan. And then like discovering his X-Men, it was like all over after that. I love this because it's kind of like this mundane sort of like, you know, party goers in the crowd sort of fighting with each other. And I think Robin's part of it. And I also love that he, like, the thought that goes into the comic books. And I think this is sort of lost on this era because we're less about the secret identities, the costumes, and the actual superheroing, which was so fun. Like, he's like having to adjust his fighting style. I can't be recognized as having the same, you know, judo kicks of Robin or whatever like that. And I love that. Batman, is that you? This creepy silhouette. The storytelling throughout is always amazing. And as I said in my last, review of a Neal Adams facsimile, or artifact edition, is that this is from when they didn't credit letters and colorists. And I think that is Dick, man. Oh my gosh. You know, I know that the memes, naming Robin Dix Grayson just gave us gold for meme land in the future. If they knew then, they probably would have never named him that, right? What would his name be? I don't know. What could be equally offensive? In a way, this is so fun. This is so classic. It's such a sign of the times. I love the artistry on this. It's just amazing. I think that they have some Neal Adams Batman Artist Edition books coming out, either from IDW or maybe these are going to be the new ones from Scott Dunbier's Stage 4 or Act 4 company. And I cannot wait to see it. I mean, if it looks this good like this, I cannot wait to see it blown up in black and white and just all the little noodling and everything in this gorgeous, the Giordano inks. I'm very curious to discover in an artist edition type of format. And also the fun, I have to point out, of these facsimile editions that people have called me out for glazing over because they are totally fun, are the ads. I mean, look at these ads. I love it. There's so many great things that, I don't know, like, if I could go back in time, you know, to this simpler era, I think I would just take advantage of all the mail-ins. Like, I would designate certain days for certain things. This feels great. You know, this is from an era when DC and Marvel had this sort of friendly, healthy competition. I believe they played baseball games against each other. They were constantly, like, ribbing each other in their comics. I love... You know, Neal Adams did the new designs of the X-Men comics, and that's his Havoc. So I love Havoc being in here as well. This kind of Thor party goer is fun. This is interesting. This 100% has to be a person. That's either Marv Wolfman or somebody like that. I like when they work in real people into the comics. It's fun as well. The interesting angles and the way that Neal Adams guides your eye across the page is definitely one of the secret powers in his arsenal, for sure. Aside from beautiful draftsmanship, you know, he just draws really, really pretty pictures, art, superhero, men, women, just interesting people and locales and situations. And he's just such a master at what he does. I mean, you can just learn so much by looking at any single page by Neal Adams, for sure. I had the funniest thought. It's weird how your mind works when you're just like, or my mind works. Can't speak for everybody because I don't know how the hell your mind works. But seeing this Volkswagen Bug destroyed, first of all, I love Volkswagen Bugs. My childhood babysitter had a Volkswagen Bug and it was so much fun and we loved it. And then, in high school, I did some journalism workshop at Kent State, and I stayed there for the weekend, and we learned about the mass disaster at Kent State that took place that was, you know, really commonplace now, but it was quite the tragedy then. But he said that quite a lot of VW bugs were wiped out in that tragedy because they were so popular then. Isn't that a weird interesting footnote. Anyway, see, who you thought you were just going to learn about art and the history of comics and Batman when you were watching this video, but you also get a little bit of Kent State history as well. How do you like that? That's fun. What is that? Like a spoon, sort of, I don't know. Just another great invention. Special offer, a 6-foot by 2-foot full color poster. Looks like Kurt Swan, right? Of Superman for $2. I want that poster right now. So unfair. Look at this. I love like the flashbacks and like, I don't know, just like this Reaper and him just like talking on the water and the reflection in the water. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, you just don't get this kind of like detail or like surroundings in comics that much anymore. The styles have definitely shifted and changed. I don't know, the inclusion of these college students just adds an element of fun to it as well. And then this, you know, very see, people talk about comics being woke and stuff like that, but there's definitely some messages happening in this comic as well. And I think that comics, you know, comics are about heroism and positivity and doing the right thing. And so, of course, I feel like they've done it for years and years and years without being preachy, to great effect. And that's the end of a powerful, impactful story inspired by Bernie Wrightson and Harlan Ellison. And then we have this great letters page. Love that. Would totally love to dive into this, but you know, I just don't think we have time for that right now. And then we end with this amazing classic Batman story by Bob Kane. Arguably, he's another artist who I wonder how much of him is actually on the page. That's another mystery that I would like to get into. You know, historically speaking, credit was given in recent years to Bob Finger as a co-creator of Batman just for the undeniable additions he made to the mythos. It's so funny, you talk about like the art style, how different it is, how dense and how many letters, how many words and freaking panels there are on every single page. They really gave you your 10 cents and it took probably 2 days to read it. So you got your money's worth for sure. And I love me an Artifact edition, another banger, another classic, another fun examination of the mastery of Neal Adams. Do not sit on these Artifact Facsimile edition reprints. They're so great. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and I'll bring you more soon.